Hey friends, welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Courtney and I have my two standard poodles, Phyrra and Nyx, in the room with me, so you may see them in the background. Today I'm going to be sharing my makeup fails of 2017. These are all the products that I feel really sucked and I'm going to tell you why they sucked. But before we jump into this video, I want to ask you to hit the little subscribe button down below so you won't miss any of my videos, like my best beauty products of 2017 that's coming up soon. Okay, so the first product that I want to talk about that absolutely sucked and was a big fail for me was the 1-2 lashes. Now, these are magnetic lashes and I tried wearing them and they are just really difficult to make them look right. I bought these because of YouTuber Stephanie Lange. I absolutely love her. She does the best hooded eye makeup videos of anybody on YouTube. And she put these on and she made it look so simple, but I swear the pairs that I got don't match up. It looks like I'm putting moose antlers on my lashes. They just look so weird. And I really, really wanted them to work because they're easy to put on. You just can't adjust them to make them look proper. No matter what you do, or no matter what I did, they would still just stick up funny. So like one would be like this way and the other one would be this way. So they just didn't ever want to look right on my eyes. So I gave up on them. I'm going to try and return them to see if I can get my money back, but I don't know if I'm within that window to do so. So the next product that really sucked for me was from one of the DCM companies called Niod. It's their photography fluid primer. Let me read you what the website says it's going to do. It says it's a novel approach to creating foundation for skin that reflects even radiance in life and very specifically through the camera lens. This serum textured product contains a wide array of refracting prisms, tone and hue correctors, and topical finishing technologies to offer even radiance within seconds. So this thing sounds amazing. It's in a little dropper. I tried the Pure photography filter and actually really liked it, but then one from Niod sucked for my skin. Basically what it did on me was give me a white gold glow all over, which okay, that's really cool, but it basically clung to every single dry patch around my face. And if you don't know, I have dry skin. So basically it emphasized all kinds of dryness and looked terrible. It looked even worse when I tried to put makeup on top of it. I wouldn't recommend this product to anyone. It sucked and I was unfortunately unable to return it. I have major regrets over wasting my money on this primer. Next up is the Glossier SPF 35. So I like most of my Glossier products. There are a couple misses that I've had, but most of them have been hits. I really love the Perfecting Skin Tint. I love the Boy Brow. Those two products are really great for me. The Milky Jelly Cleanser I really like as well. The SPF product, no good. For me, if I got the SPF anywhere near my eyes would start burning. My eyes are sensitive, okay, I get that. But even worse, it caused me to break out. I really was hoping that this product would be something I could love because it's one of those colorless sunscreens, so it doesn't leave like a white cast, which I personally don't mind a white cast, but I know a lot of you really hate white casts. So I wanted to be able to recommend it, but no, can't. It sucks. The next product that was a big fail for me is probably one that's going to cause a fight because I feel like everybody else says it's a holy grail, but it was the Tarte Shape Tape. Now, the Tarte Shape Tape that I got smelled like bug spray. Like, I'm telling you, it smelled like off or citronella candles or something just just terrible. I didn't really like how thick it was and chunky. And the color that I got, I think I got Fair Neutral because I ordered it from Ulta's website because they had the color, but then I couldn't, when I went in store to see if I could exchange it for another one, they didn't have the shade in store. So yeah, the formula didn't work for me, the color didn't really work for me, but the smell was the worst part. I don't understand how anybody could put that on their face when it smells like bug spray and be okay with it. Somebody else said theirs smells like citrus, but mine smelled like straight up bug spray. It was disgusting. My husband smelled it and he was like, don't put that on your face. This is after I like dabbed it on and tried to use a beauty blender to blend it out. Nope, that is not for me. It was terrible. Give me my Kat Von D Lock It Concealer Cream because that shit is awesome. Tarte Shape Tape, throw it in the trash. The next product that I tried that I thought would be good was the Makeup Revolution Blush in Nude, and it's one of their matte blushes. It just really wasn't anything that wowed me. The formula and texture wasn't that great. I mean, yeah, it's a drugstore blush, so it's really cheap, but I didn't like how it settled on my skin, and usually I like matte blushes and prefer them because I think that they look really flattering, especially since I like to wear more blingy highlighters, but I just didn't like how it looked on me at all. So the next product that was a total bust for me was the Smashbox Photo Lid Primer in Smoky. This is supposed to make it easier to do like really dark, dramatic, and smoky looks, and I thought this would be like a time saver, and really not for me. It didn't work very well. It would, like in my crease, it would crease and wear away, so that kind of defeats the point of an eyeshadow primer if it's not going to stick around. I wanted to love it, but couldn't. The next product on my list that I can't stand is the J-Cat Pearl Luminizer. Now, this came in a jar and it looked very similar to the a lot of the Ben Nye powders. I have like the Ben Nye Cameo powder somewhere in my makeup stash. I don't know where it's at this minute. But the Pearl Luminizer is supposed to give you, I thought it was supposed to give you like a nice ethereal glow. When I put it on, it was like I straight put on a, when I put it on, it was like I put on a white frosty eyeshadow all over my face. It emphasized every single line, every single pore. Was not pretty, was not flattering at all. It was terrible, so awful. Do not recommend. Okay, so the next product was something I really wanted to love, and I bought into the hype, so I bought it, and that was the Kat Von D Lolita blush. I love Kat Von D. I love almost all of my Kat Von D products, but not this. This is supposed to be like I think a rosy neutral, rosewood brown, something like that, or reddish chestnut, anything. I think rosy brown is how she described it. Well, when I put it on my skin, it goes, actually I can't put it on this hand because I have a bunch of weird swatches on here. When I put it on my skin, which my skin tone is basically like a cool yellow, it pulls very orangey brown, not rosy brown, orange. I don't think it looks flattering on me at all. So I can't really wear it as eyeshadow. I don't think it looks flattering on me at all, so I can't really wear it as eyeshadow. I can kind of wear it as a blush if I want to wear like a kind of orangey blush, which I don't necessarily think that looks good on me. So I was really just disappointed that this, awesome product that's supposed to be a cult favorite that everybody loves looks like crap on me. I guess that's because of my cool yellow skin tone. Next up, I bought the Smashbox Studio Skin Face Shaping Foundation Stick in the shade 0.5 Porcelain. I had to look it up. And it was like $42. I thought this would be cool because it's basically like a foundation on one side and a contour on the other. The contour shade actually worked pretty well for my skin tone, so I was really pleased about that, but the foundation was another story. It was not good. It basically turned sort of peachy orange on my skin. It also was one of those foundations that really clinged to my dry patches, so while it's a vegan foundation, it just didn't work for me. And on the subject of foundations not working for me, next up we have the NYX Total Control Drops in Pale. Now the pale yellow color was a really great match for my skin tone. I give NYX props for making a really inclusive shade range. They had a ton of shades, and I actually had a match. I was really happy about that. That's about the extent of all I was happy about because the formula itself looked like shit on my skin. It was another one of those things that just clung to all of my dry patches. I felt like basically I was dribbling half the bottle on my face to try to get it to cover all over because if you just put 3 drops, I couldn't get it to cover anything. It was ridiculous. I saw so many people, loved this or hated this. It was very polarizing, but I am definitely in that hate camp because it was terrible on me. Next up, and I feel bad saying this, but it's the Fenty Pro Filtr Foundation. So the formula, I know it's more geared towards oily skin. To counter that, what I did was I bought some vitamin E oil to put into it, which made it much more comfortable for me to wear on my dry skin. The shade that I bought was shade 100. This shade is supposed to be a perfect match for my skin tone. When I put it on and it was wet, it matched perfectly. It looked great. Once it dried down, it turned like this coppery orangey color. So my face would be coppery orange and the rest of me would be like this light kind of yellow toned skin, so it looked very weird. Between the lack of a good shade match and the formula being more geared towards oily skin, I went ahead and returned it to Sephora. I felt bad, but it just did not work for me at all. I also tried a couple of the Fenty Matchstix. I tried Ivory, which was supposed to either be like a foundation or a concealer, but either way, it looked terrible on me. It basically emphasized all kinds of like skin texture and dryness. It was really dry and cakey. I don't think it looked good at all. And I'm also not a fan of Amber, the contour color, which I know everybody has been raving about this color, but I just didn't feel like it did a lot for me. So I returned both of those because I wanted to love them, but didn't like how they looked on me at all. Under more foundations that I found that I hate this year, the Wet n Wild Photofocus Foundation in Porcelain. I thought this was going to be like my perfect drugstore match. The color is not bad. I still have to add white to it to make it a perfect match for my skin tone, so it's not just a foundation I can just put on and go, or else I have basically like dark head, light neck, which I don't think is attractive. But the real problem that I had with the foundation was the formula. It really was cakey and would like basically cling to my dry patches and then turn cakey, so it did not work for my dry skin. Next up, we have another foundation. It's the Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation. I bought the shade Snow. I thought initially I really liked how it looked on my skin. I liked the finish. The color on its own was too dark. I needed to add white to it to make a good match. The fragrance was overpowering, the peachy scent. Ultimately, that's probably the downfall. The fragrance that was in that foundation caused me to break out really bad along like my chin and my jaw. It was very, very painful. So while I wanted to love it because I liked the ingredients aside from the fragrance, and I liked the formula, because it made me break out and the fact that I had to add white to it to make a better match, I just had to return it. I don't understand why companies continue to add fragrance to foundation when it causes a lot of people to break out, not just me. It's very, very rare that I can wear any sort of foundation or even a skincare product with fragrance because most of the time they make me break out. The rare exception I can think of right now is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation in Milkshake. I'm really shocked that that does not cause me to break out because of the fragrance. So Too Faced, if you're listening, I would love it if you made your Peach Perfect foundation without any fragrance in it and in a lighter shade, because snow is not snow. Snow is about the color of peachy orange. Like, I don't know. It's just not snow. Or if your snow is that color, I don't want to play in it. Next up is the Wander Beauty Flash Focus Hydrating Foundation Stick in the shade Fair. I assumed that because the shade was fair and it had a very limited shade range that, hey, this is going to be a match for my skin tone. I was wrong. I really, really, really like the formula on this though because it's super hydrating. It is great for my dry skin, but the color's too dark. And unfortunately, I realized that it was too dark and not going to work for me after I was already outside of the Sephora return window, so that kind of sucked because it's expensive. I think it was like $42 or $45, so I had to basically eat that. I think that's all the foundations for you. I tried a ton more foundations than that this year, but these are my big fails. Next up would be the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. Now I bought this palette when I was doing a review for Silk Naturals on the collection that they made that's basically like a vegan dupe of those colors. And I gave it a try. It's not as bad as everybody says it was, but I still don't think it's a great palette, and I'll tell you why it's on this list. In my opinion, because the formula is so powdery, it's very wasteful. I'm used to working with pigments, like loose pigments and stuff, so I know how to carefully tap in to get product off, but even when I would carefully tap in, a ton of excess powder would kick up, so it just felt like very wasteful every time I would touch the palette. I don't understand what Anastasia was thinking of with that formula because their eyeshadow singles are actually, in my opinion, very good, but that palette sucks. The next product on my list is the Wet n Wild Micellar Water. Now, this is like a makeup remover, and initially I thought that it was a great product because it did a pretty good job at removing my eye makeup and my face makeup, but I don't know what happened to it. When I was about halfway through the bottle, it changed. Like, it smelled like, I would almost describe it as like a burnt rubber type smell, but it smelled bad. And I was like, oh no, this isn't good. So I experimented with trying to take my makeup off with it once the smell changed, and it basically kind of burned. So I just tossed it out right away. Don't know why it changed. Don't know, what went on with that, but I was very disappointed in that because that's the first time I've ever had any micellar water go bad on me. And I use a lot of them. I mostly use like Pacifica's coconut water, or Yes Two's coconut water, but I was trying the Wet n Wild because I was like, oh hey, it's a new product from Wet n Wild, I should give it a shot. It sucked. So last but not least is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Redness Neutralizing Correcting Cream. This stuff comes in like a little pot, and in the pot it looks promising. When I put it on my skin, it's like a peach color, but then it dries down to like an orange. I'm pretty sure I shared this on my Instagram stories whenever I first got it, and I was so disappointed because I got my hopes up really, really high because I thought it was going to be one of those products that I could just dab on like the worst areas of my redness, then put my foundation on and be done. But no, when I put it on my face, it's like I put blotches of orange all over my face. It does not look good. Then I still have to cake on foundation to cover it up. So what's the point? I really, really wish that IT Cosmetics would fix their shade range so that they have truly fair shades and truly deep shades, as opposed to these shades that claim to be, fair, like Transforming Porcelain Beige, because to me that sounds like, hey, that would be a color that would match me. But in the cream, it does not. I did have a friend of mine my friend Brittany, gave me the Transforming Porcelain Beige in the powder, and the powder actually is light enough for my skin. So if I was going to use all powder foundation, this would work because I could just put it on the areas where the redness is worst and then put it on like a light foundation anywhere else to even me out and be done. I really, really wish... Here's hoping that someday IT Cosmetics fixes their shade range. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed hearing me rant about my worst products of 2017. Make sure you let me know what products sucked for you in 2017 in the comments below. If you liked this video and found it entertaining, fun, informative, or helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share. It really helps me out when you share my videos, and I really, really appreciate it. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next video.